I don't know what's going on in this world. It's getting crazy out here in this world. And it's getting stranger by the second. And the reason why it's getting stranger by the second, because you'll never believe this. When I tell you this, it's going to shock you. Because getting a haircut is not simple no more. Just when you thought the simplest thing in the world could be simple, it's not that simple. It's difficult. Because haircuts are getting too expensive now. You know how you used to be going to the barber shop and you used to look forward to going to the barber shop. Now people don't do that no more because barber shops are becoming expensive. Barbers are charging $80 to $100 for a haircut.
So I went to the barber shop and he charged me 80 bucks. I don't think it's worth it. How the is it 80 bucks to cut a taper and a lineup, bro? And he put in enhancements. I never asked for that. Bro, these barbers. These barbers, man.
And that's crazy. Now, I don't know how much they charge for booth rent. I don't know if that's a good price, but if you're a barber, let me know if that's a good price because it seems like barbers, they don't want to come into barbershops no more. They feel like going into a barbershop is probably becoming a headache to them. I don't know because that's why a lot of barbershops are empty. You used to be able to see barbers. Now people are just cutting hair inside their house now. Or some of them are just going to suites. And it's different. It's not the same like it used to be. And then just think about it. You used to go to the barber shop, couldn't wait to get a haircut. Now, people got other things to do than to just worry about a haircut. Some people barely even get their haircut anymore.
Yo, I'm at a point in my life where getting a haircut every 2 weeks, that shit is over with. There was definitely a point in time where I needed the lineup to be fresh at all times. I need a lineup to be fresh. Not no more. If you look through my videos, I'm scruffy most of the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm married, got a kid, I'm chilling. I'm good. When you're single days, you had to be fresh because you don't know who you was going to run into. You know what I'm saying? Who you going, what shorty you might run into, anything like that. And it was cheaper. Now, I'm married and chill. I'm good. And then imagine spending $50 every 2 weeks for a cut. Man, that's not gonna happen, dog. Nah, haircuts has gotten too expensive. Me, I'll go like once a month unless I got something happening and then I need a cut in between. But other than that, I go like once a month because it used to be like a haircut and a shape up and shit like that. Nah, that's been over with for a couple years now. I'll throw this do-rag on real quick, lay this bitch down, and shade this off real quick and shake myself up. I'm good to go. I'm not. Nah, hell nah. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it when at that point in my life right now. All I do is go to work and go home anyway. So I'm good.
Because the prices are too steep. I remember when I was younger, I don't know if y'all can remember this, if y'all ever experienced this. We used to get chili bowls by our parents when they used to cut our hair. Some people going back to that because at the end of the day, a haircut shouldn't cost you just as much as anything else. And I know it's an inflation. That's what barbers like to say. That's what everybody like to say. But it's an inflation for us too. Not just barbers, everybody else. Everything is going up but your pay. And I know it's just crazy because who would have ever imagined this in the world? That getting a haircut would be so difficult now. And then, if you had a barber that you was used to getting your haircut by, they may not be at the same shop no more. And then they want you to follow them to a different shop. And then they still want you to pay the same price after you had to follow them to a different shop. It's not that serious. And it's just crazy out here. It's like they don't think about the customers. Now, some barbers do. I appreciate the barbers that still cut for a good price. They may have went up just a little bit, but the majority of the barbers, some of them, they be wanting too much. And then at the end of the day, sometimes just because you license, that don't mean your haircut gonna be good. Because there's a lot of barbers who don't have a license and they cut better than barbers who got license. So it's just different.
Any type of licensed professional looking for a chair for rent in the Las Vegas area, 7 minutes from the strip, please give me a call, jump in my DM or something. I got $100 booth rent. $100, get at me.
So this is what's going on. This can just occur like this, and you can't do nothing about it. And that's the sad part. Because one minute you could be paying $20 for a haircut, and then the next minute you could be paying $80. And that's a crazy situation that I don't think nobody want to be in. And as you can see, a barber can get upset that you questioning his prices, saying that he charged too much or he make too much.
I think it's crazy to complain that another man charges too much for anything. I'll never look at another man like that's the most hated shit ever. To look at another man and be like, you make too much, or you charge too much. Like when was that ever okay to do? Go to school for 1,800 hours or 1,500 hours, or learn a skill on YouTube and pay yourself 6 figures. Like that doesn't sit right with some people. Oh, you charge too much. No, you just don't like what you make. You know what I'm saying? And if I were you or the people who complaining, we're gonna create your own skill set and we're gonna create more income for yourself.
And that's crazy. From a customer standpoint, from viewing that as a customer, that's crazy. But at the end of the day, he does have his right to his prices. That's up to you as a customer if you want to pay for it. And you don't have to pay for that if you can't afford it. That's why a lot of barbershops are empty. A lot of people think barbers have gone too far. Not all barbers, but most of them.
What's the most money you paying for a haircut?
$30. Now, if it's a house call, probably 100. Nah, 150. I feel like the premium now with barbers, I feel like they be overkill. Ain't no way I'm getting a regular low taper, a regular fade, and the cut $50. What we doing?
When I was in Miami, you paid say celebrity barber. I'm like, all right. I done seen a couple rappers or whatever he done cut. So yeah, man, you know, I'm like that. First of all, fam, if you really cutting hair, and everybody know this, man, if you really how you supposed to be with the clippers, man, you ain't pulling out no black spray. I see you go like this and the compressor wake up, I don't even need you to cut me, boss. After I get the cut, you ready to pull out the black spray. I said, oh nah, boss, I don't use that. He said, I bet, man, you done. I said, man, I appreciate your time, so I'm gonna tip you a little extra, man. How much it is? You know, it's just 300. Hey, I said, huh? It's just 300. I ain't gonna lie, fam. You gotta get that. What, 300? And you was just finna pull out the black spray? If I end up talking them down to 150, my homeboy say, I don't need a cut no more.
But you can't get mad at nobody over their price. He does have a point with that one. You can just spend your money somewhere else. Because there's barbers out here that'll charge less and cut way better. It's all about the quality of the hair. So do you feel like that haircut is worth $80 to $100? And I know it's an inflation out here, but everybody is in an inflation, not just barbers. You have to go get the money to pay the barber or to even go grocery shopping. And that's the sad situation that people are going through out here. And it's just tough. People can't afford to get haircuts no more. And that's why it's just getting crazy out here. It's just getting more difficult. And you can't be mad at nobody. Never supposed to argue nobody down about spending your money because you can take your money elsewhere. That's the solution. You can take your money elsewhere. And that's what a lot of people are doing because these rates is crazy. And then they say some barbers charge more than that. But if you feel like you got to charge people that much, then you probably in the wrong field. You probably got to get another job, I think. But if people paying for that, it is what it is. Long as it ain't you paying for it. That's all that matters. But it's cheaper barbers out there that do a good job. So go to them. And it's just crazy.
Let's say they said a haircut costs $40. And the guy get in your chair, he expected to pay $40. Or you personally
Hey, yo, listen, y'all. This is a good one for y'all.
You work in a shop, and the shop owner has a sign suggesting how much the haircut should cost, right? And the guy get in your chair looking at the sign, and the sign said haircut $40. But you want to charge him $50 or $60. Should you charge him your personal fee, or should you go by the sign that's on that on the sign on the wall?
Is he a walk-in?
Yeah, he'll walk in. Exactly.
You gotta charge him price on the side. Don't go below.
No, let's
Go below the price of the
But you can't go over it either though like that. So once you like what you just said was good. If he's a walk-in, any walk-ins has to get charged that price. But now once you create a service and I give it to him, hey, look, boss man, it's $40 for a bald head and a liner. But I gave you the hot towel, I gave you enhancements, I gave you this on my booking site or my person, because I don't got a booking site, I charge $80 for everything that I gave you. But if you want to come in and just want me to line you up and clean the hair off your head, that's $40. But now you tell them what the upcharges come from, and you also still, when you go into a barbershop, you're not in a suite, you're in a barbershop, you still got to respect whatever the house prices is. So me, my team, we meet once every 6 months. We meet just to go over the house rules. How much we charge for certain things, what is we using to make sure that we all are on the same page. You can't be charging $80 for this, and I'm doing it for $40. I promise you, you're going to lose some. Because it's like, man, you cut great. You probably cut better than me. But I'd rather go down here for the 40 than pay the 80. And then, sure, I might get in and out faster down here. You feel what I'm saying? So you all have to be somewhat on the same page. It's going to cause too much of a conflict.
Supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
Because more likely the cost of the haircut on the sign is within the market rate anyway.
Exactly. So even if y'all too high, I'd rather go down the street and get it for cheaper.
I do that.
I ain't know the barber game was messed up because I don't know where these prices was coming from. But now it's starting to make sense. They starting to get these prices off of social media. And they listening to other barbers online. And it gotta be. Thinking that somebody is paying $250 for a haircut every day. Because even if somebody was paying $250 for a haircut, that's not every day. That's somebody who got a lot of money. And even if you had a lot of money, why would you still pay $250 for a haircut? That's not fair. You're supposed to be getting charged like everybody else. Don't make sense. So they trying to treat y'all like y'all rich. And y'all not rich. That's why a lot of customers are furious about that. And everybody gets their haircut. You got males getting their haircut, females getting their haircut. Everybody needs a haircut. You know when you want to go to an event and you want a fresh cut and you can't wait to go to the event, show off your haircut, and it's just crazy out here that you can't even look forward to that no more. So a lot of people ain't even getting their haircut no more. And I get it. Because times is hard out here. And a lot of other barbers, like he was saying, was messing up the game. That's why the barber game is messed up now. It's like no matter what you do, you can never get ahead. You try to save money, everybody's making it harder for you to save money. And that's the crazy thing. And then you got some barbers that'll go up on a price and won't even tell you until the last minute. They'll try to charge you more before you even get out the chair. And that's not fair. Let me know if y'all been in that situation before. You was getting your hair cut by a barber. He went up on his price. He didn't even tell you until after you got out the chair. When he's supposed to told you the price before you sat in the chair to see if you wanted to go through with it or not. And it's just a sad situation out here because nobody should have to go through with that. That could have been the only money you had. And they don't seem to care. Some barbers. And it's just too much. Some of them want $25, $30 for a lineup. And when it comes to that point, when you want that much for a cut or any type of cut, that ain't even really a cut. That's just a lineup.
I'm gonna tell y'all what's wrong with the barber game real quick. All you barbers
that listen to that bald head bearded dude tell you to scale your business, y'all the problem with the barber game. Y'all the problem. Y'all let this dude tell you to scale your business. And I was under the impression that scaling your business meant, okay, I could produce 10 units in an hour. I upgrade my machinery, now I can produce 100 units in an hour. How does that work in barbering? Because last I heard, I can't buy another arm, I can't buy another set of eyes, and I can only cut one head at a time. So y'all tell me, like, how exactly do I scale my business? And how is it that y'all be believing these dudes when they talk crazy? He came from 4 hours away and paid $250 for a lineup. Like, y'all ain't see no Square, y'all ain't see no Squire, y'all ain't see no Intuit receipts, y'all ain't see no books, y'all ain't see nothing, y'all just believe him? Is y'all that goofy? On top of that, Buddy snaked the guy that brought him into the game. On top of that, Buddy was looking for a retirement plan, and he got y'all to pay him to tell y'all what to charge, and now he don't got to cut hair no more? Sound to me like y'all getting out here. Like, for real, that's what's wrong with the game. Y'all barbers is goofy for even going for that stuff. Y'all goofy. Thinking that somebody gonna pay $150 for a haircut and a beard. Y'all shit. Y'all deserve to go out of business. Y'all deserve to lose clients because y'all believe that goofiness.
I didn't know that it was a drought out here for barbers because there's so much going on in the barber industry. You never would have knew about it. There's barbers that's not coming to work like that, that's going on vacation, and they feel like they ain't got to pay for the booth rent.
Barbers, I don't care if you come in 1 day a week. I don't care if you go on vacation for a month. I don't care what you do with your time as long as you pay your booth rent on time.
But the barbershop owners, they're feeling like whether they show up or not, they still gonna charge them. So at the end of the day, it's like, what would you do in that situation? This is for my barbers. Do y'all feel like it's right for y'all to still be charged for booth rent? Because I know sometimes they feel like, I done heard situations like that from barbers. They feel like sometimes the owner, they be tripping over booth rent all the time. And then they think that it's supposed to go by how much they made. So if they didn't make that much, they shouldn't have to pay rent.
Going on vacation is not a reason to not pay your booth rent. Like, you have money to go to Miami for 2 weeks, but you don't have the $300 that you owe the barbershop for booth rent? That's not how this works. Barbers think because they're not at work or they didn't decide to work that week that they shouldn't be paying their booth rent. No, that is a you problem. And chances are, if you don't pay your booth rent before you decide to go on vacation or take time off, you won't have a booth to rent by the time you return. At least not in my shop, I promise you. Like, yeah, no, y'all bugging. Like, the barbershop owner just supposed to take the hit because you decided to go on vacation? I don't think so. Pay your booth rent and be responsible and handle your business. If not, go open your own.
But owners feel different. They have a business to run. So at the end of the day, it's like, it's just a tough situation to even be in. So at the end of the day, it's like, what can you do? And this is what we didn't know. This is what the public didn't know about barbers. All we can see is just getting our hair cut. Because at the end of the day, the customer never sees what goes on in no establishment. All they care about is just getting their hair cut, just getting their product. And they feel like they want their product for a fair price. Now, some customers will try to lowball you. They don't want to pay nothing. Or talking about they're going to pay you next week and you're supposed to wait on them and all this type of crazy situations for a haircut. Now, if you've been dealing with that quite often as a barber or just in business in general, then I can see. Like, sometimes it's just not worth the hassle. But if you feel like something is not worth the hassle and your mind is not in it, then you should do something else. So that's why a lot of people don't want to pay booth rent no more. Because they feel like with the suites, you ain't gotta have the pressure of your boss over you all the time. And then I heard it's just different. So let me know what y'all think about this barber situation being scarce. And these barbers know where to find them. And it's just crazy because in a minute, it's gonna be hard for everybody to just get their hair cut. Males and females. People are just going to have to grow an afro now. Go back in the day. I remember I used to have an afro. I just couldn't keep it up though.
Everybody thinks that I'm against the booth rent commission model and all that. They think I'm just anti-booth rent. But let's talk about this for a second. Here's what I'm actually against. I think the booth rent model is dead because suites have killed it. This is not a commission thing. This is booth rent is dead. Because I'm gonna ask you, why would you go to a booth rent shop when you can go get your own suite for the same price? You control the vibe, you control the cleanliness, you control the paint colors, the design, you control your entire schedule as far as like when you want to come in, when you don't want to come in, with no pressure from the owner. So when I'm talking about booth rent is dead, it's not because I think commission is so great. Now it is great for a beginner barber, but everybody in the comments has already admitted that, right? And if you look at the situations, most people want to get their career off to a rocket fast start. Commission is the best way to go. We probably all agree there. But what I'm saying is booth rent is dead because of suites. I don't hate booth rent. It's just a dead business model because there's no value there. You get everything plus some in a suite that you would in the booth rent shop because there's not many walk-ins. Now, if you got some shop been around 25 years and has walk-ins and stuff, you're gonna go in there in a little bit. But if you're an owner, man, the booth rent shop, don't you dare open up another one because it's a dying business model and the suites are taking over for the booth rent. It's replacing it. So I'm arguing suites and a commission model, depending on where you're at in your career. That's all I'm saying.
And as Americans, what do we do in this situation? Where do we go? It's like you really can't find a good haircut spot to save your life. And sometimes you got to keep going to different barbershop spots. It didn't used to be like this. It used to be different. When did times become so difficult? Times are just changing. You can't do the same things you used to no more. And that's why it's so devastating because you like to reminisce all the time because you remember where everything was better. Now all the prices are seeming to be too high for anybody to pay or too difficult. And that's the sad situation because it's like people are struggling. They cutting overtime. And I know the barbers, they don't care about the people, but at least pretend to. Some barbers, not all of them, but just pretend. Sometimes they just blatantly let you know in your face. And they don't want you to ask them about their prices, which they have a right to. So you can go to another barber, but if you got a good barber, keep a good barber around. It's like having a good mechanic. If you got a good mechanic, keep your mechanic around because you got to tip your hat off to those people. They never switched up. Any business that never switched up on you, always show love. And that's crazy. But I want to know what y'all want to do. What's y'all next solution? What's the steps? Y'all gonna keep trying to find a barbershop? Or y'all gonna start trying to learn how to cut y'all own hair? Because some people are doing that now.